In a world full of SUVs and electric vehicles, the small car is slowly but surely dying out. In recent years, we've seen cars like the Kia Rio, the Nissan Micra either getting totally scrapped or becoming electric only, and even Ford get rid of the Fiesta, which was the best-selling car in its segment. Now that's a problem for 250,000 people who still drive small cars and only want to drive small cars. But thankfully, there's still some brands out there that are not giving in to the pressure, and one of those brands is Suzuki. Instead, they're investing a lot of money into the small cars they know their customers use and love. And that's why I think this Suzuki Swift is going to be the next best small car in the UK, taking the Fiesta's place. So let me show you around this new model Suzuki Swift for 2024. Now you might be thinking, what makes this a new generation, because it looks pretty similar to the previous model? And you'd be right in saying that, but most of the changes lie underneath the car, or in parts you don't necessarily pay attention to. So it's on a completely new platform, and the car itself is a bit more stable. There's less engine bay space there, meaning there's more space inside, and notable changes are like these LED L-shaped lights here, which flow with the shape of the body and those lines. Also along here you can see you've got these black pillars at the back, creating that floating roof effect, which just makes the car look a bit lighter. And my favourite thing is the handles have been moved from the pillars down to the door, which is just a more natural position. If you walk around to the back of the car as well, you also get these LED lights which have a 3D effect when they're lit up, and it looks a lot wider, more stable and sportier because of this wide bumper, and it also gets this spoiler on the roof as well. So all in, the design has changed ever so slightly, but there's a reason that it hasn't changed too much, and that's because Suzuki listen to their customers. People love the way the Suzuki looks. They're familiar with it. It's been here for 40 years now. We know what to expect from it. And unlike other brands who are just changing the way everything looks all the time and looking like each other, Suzuki want to stay what they're known for and keep this quirky design. And I think that's a great idea, because you look at it and yes, it's new, but it's the same. On top of all of that, even the base model Motion gets standard tech such as keyless entry and keyless start, reversing camera, parking sensors, and driving assistance features like adaptive cruise control, auto high beam assist, and lane assist. Now, to get all of that in a car of this size is pretty unusual. Your Vauxhall Corsas or your MG3s will get some of it. There might be a different mix of it, but none of them have as much as the new Swift does, and that's very impressive. There is a step up from the Motion, which is the Suzuki Swift Ultra, but all that really adds is polished alloy wheels, folding mirrors, and rear heaters for passengers. Now with that in mind, I was curious, would you bother upgrading to the Ultra trim? You only get a few extra things and they're not really going to make a difference to your everyday life. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think this will be quite an interesting split. The inside of the new Swift gets an upgrade too. Everything is focused towards you, the driver. You can maybe see in the camera there that the centre console is angled more towards you, and that's just for ease of use. You also get this big 9-inch touchscreen display here, which as standard has smartphone connectivity wirelessly, so you can have like your Android Auto and stuff on there. And it also has its own maps feature, but you can of course use it from your smartphone. Another thing to note as well is with the new platform it's built on, the engine bay is smaller, so all of this can be pushed forward, which makes even more space inside. And although it is a small car, it actually feels quite big. And furthering the comfort in here, the new seats have more cushioning round about them, and the headrests are a bit bigger and thicker for even more support. Even the boot space is quite impressive for this small car. You can see my bag in there for reference. It's quite deep and quite wide as well. The new model Suzuki Swift actually keeps the same compact dimensions as the previous model, which is great because it means it's still very small and nimble, and it's so easy to drive it around town. And also it means parking is so easy. So as well as having your parking camera and reversing sensors to help with that, the physical size of the car being quite small means you can park virtually anywhere. Now the 1.2 litre hybrid engine in these cars only puts out around 80 brake horsepower, which by today's standards is not a lot. However, because the car is very lightweight, it actually feels much quicker, and having less than 100 horsepower isn't a problem at all. In fact, just last night, I was driving home from a friend's house and I got back home in the same time that it takes me to do the journey in my 2 litre car. So I was surprised by that, to be honest. But again, just the lightweight and the nimbleness of the car really just adds to the drive, so you don't need a lot of horsepower. And speaking of that, they've also made some adjustments underneath the car, so they've played around with some parts to make the car a lot more stable when you are driving at speed. And the steering as well, it's very subtle, but it is more direct, and it just makes the overall driving experience more confident, I would say, or it makes you more confident in driving the car. I mean, before, with the small Suzuki, it felt like a tin can and a gust of wind might blow you away, but this one feels much more stuck to the road and it's more sure-footed. It does feel like it's missing something though, and I think that thing might be a 6th gear. Because it's such a small engine, there is only 5 gears on this car, which is a bit strange, and I need to remind myself not to try and put it into 6 because I'll go into reverse. That said, it is really, really good on fuel. The new hybrid engine is 8% more efficient than the previous one, and Suzuki claim up to 64 miles per gallon combined on it. Now, I've yet to see that for myself, but in the mixed driving that I've been doing this past week, I'm averaging 53.5, which is still really good. Now, to put that into real world terms, that could get you from Edinburgh to Glasgow with just £10 of fuel, which is incredible, especially today when the price of everything is so high and the price of fuel just seems to keep going up. So it's really good to have a nice, efficient and affordable to run car. Thought they were coming for me there because I was so quick. Alright, so we've had some fun driving the car, but now we need to get a bit serious and talk about the price. Before I tell you how much the Suzuki Swift costs in 2024, I want to give you a bit of context around it. A new Vauxhall Corsa hybrid starts at £18,500 and it's got less technology on it than this. If you go up the range to the highest model of the Corsa, you're looking at around 25 grand. An MG3 with less tech than this costs £18,500 as well. Now, the Motion version of the Suzuki Swift is just slightly over 18.5 grand. It's 18,699, and if you upgrade to the Ultra model, then that's still under £20,000. So the Motion base level might be like 100 quid more expensive than the other two, but you're getting so much more for your money for that. So value for money wise, the Suzuki Swift is unbeatable, I would say. I've not seen another small car at this price range that has this hybrid engine, excellent fuel economy, and all that tech is standard on the inside, as well as being safe and comfortable, and quite happily you would use it every day. So I guess the question on everybody's mind is the Suzuki Swift still worth it in 2024? Honestly, I would say I think Suzuki have nailed this. Now, with the demise of the Ford Fiesta, there's a whole group of customers there that are going to need a new car that don't have another Fiesta to go into. I used to work for a Ford dealership, and trust me, these people were like die-hard Fiesta fans. That's the only car they ever wanted. Now they don't have a choice. They're going to be looking at other things, and I think this is a great alternative. Like I say, it's practical, it's comfortable, it's so much more tech than other cars its size, and it's a great price. So yes, I would say it's definitely worth it, and I honestly do think this is going to be the next best-selling small car for the UK. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching it. I can't wait to get chatting to you in the comments and see what you think about the different trim levels. Anyway, I hope to see you in my next video, which will be coming to the channel soon. Thanks so much for watching.